And now, aviation weather around Alaska.
All right, flying weather for Saturday morning. A lot of IFR here with the strong southwest flow pushing it inland here a certain distance, then becoming marginal VFR, breaking out to mostly VFR on the east side. Some IFR there to start the day for the eastern Arctic coast, and IFR along the south side of the Alaska Peninsula up into the Gulf of Alaska, but staying VFR here for the southeast coast. For the afternoon, VFR holds over the Panhandle and the east side here from the North Gulf Coast there all the way up toward the Brooks Range. Mostly VFR for the North Slope eastern Arctic coast, some marginal VFR there for the central and western coastal areas, and solid IFR here over the eastern Bering Sea from about just south of the strait here, right on down to the eastern Aleutians, on up toward southwest Kodiak Island, and some IFR also here along the western slopes or the eastern slopes of the western Alaska Range, and improving back out to the west with VFR from about Adak on out to Shimianetu. And then for the day on Sunday, IFR shifting north here over the northern Bering Sea and up into the Seward Peninsula there, also into the Noatak Valley and along and south of the Brooks Range, north slope to the Arctic coast, mostly VFR, and north of the Alaska Range, mostly VFR there in the Tanana Valley. IFR here down through areas of the western Susitna Valley, Cook Inlet to the Alaska Range. IFR there, southern eastern Kodiak Island up in toward Prince William Sound. Panhandle staying VFR and VFR here from just about all of the Aleutians now. And the Pribilos marginal. And for Sunday afternoon, continued improvement here over the northern Bering Sea and actually the western central areas staying VFR. VFR now right up along the Alaska Peninsula, Kodiak Island, some IFR lingering down towards Sitkinak Island, maybe Akiak, and IFR right up into the eastern Kenai Peninsula, maybe Resurrection Bay and Prince William Sound. Not too bad over the eastern interior, all the way up to the North Slope with some IFR along the central and western Arctic coast, and stays VFR here from Yakutat all the way down toward the Queen Charlottes. Passes Anatuvik and Adigan, mostly marginal VFR anticipated for both those passes for Saturday. Lake Clark and Merrill, marginal VFR becoming IFR, likely before noontime for both passes there. Same trend for rainy and windy. Marginal VFR with Isabel, optimistically VFR for that pass. And Mintasta, mostly VFR. Tanita, VFR becoming marginal VFR, mostly in the afternoon hours toward evening. And for Portage, occasional marginal VFR at times. Chilkoot and White, VFR probably right through the weekend. Freezing levels here, 14,000 feet here over the southeast Bering Sea and right into the Gulf of Alaska with 12,000 feet here right up to the north there. And then quite a gradient here as you head north 2,000 feet to the Brooks Range out to the Arctic coast, and another area of colder air sweeping into the western Bering Sea. And the icing with that along and ahead of the front here, look for some areas of moderate rime icing, considerable moderate rime here. Yukon River down in toward Togiak Bay and the southwest mountains there. Maybe another batch here again along in advance of the front for the eastern Aleutians. And light to isolated moderate up to the eastern Arctic coast there and across the northern Bering Sea, and then dropping southward toward the western Aleutians. And for the jet stream here, we've got a pretty good upper level low at 33,000 feet, actually through the depth of the atmosphere actually. Jet stream winds up to 130 knots there in advance of that over the eastern Bering Sea, then up and over the top of ridging here that's building in toward the southeast coast. They're keeping the jet well to the north there and then off to the east. And at 9,000 feet, strong southwest flow, 60 to 70 knots right into the southwest coast, turning westerly 50 to 55 knots over the central interior of the state. Pretty light, Copper River Basin on down the southeast coast. And then for the 3,000 foot winds, same pattern, couple of lows here Triple point low moving up toward the Seward Peninsula there. Main low back to the southwest. Good winds blowing around the south and southwest quadrant of that system, about 60 knots. And then 55 to 70 knot southwest winds here diminish to 45 knots as they blow into the western interior. Much lighter to the north, Brooks Range of the Arctic coast as well as the Panhandle. And from there, looking at turbulence with all the strong winds out here, quite an area of considerable moderate turbulence expected. Central interior, Yukon River, right on down toward the eastern deltas, Kuskokwim Valley, in toward western Cook Inlet, or actually Cook Inlet up in toward the southern Susitna Valley. Kodiak Island looking pretty bumpy tomorrow, as well as the Alaska Peninsula, and also from about Adak out to Kiska and Shemya.